Ever feel like the universe is trying to tell you something? Like sending you a message, but you can't quite make it out.
Yeah, like a cosmic text message, but your reception's a little fuzzy.
Exactly. And today we're going to try to decode some of those signals, figure out how to tune in to the universe's own special language.
And we're not just talking about vibes here, right?
Yeah.
We've actually got some interesting sources for this deep dive. Imagine a blog post that brings together all these spiritual heavy hitters.
Oh, like who?
Deepak Chopra, for
What?
one. Sonia Choquette, even Neil Donald Walsh, all weighing in on the same topic, how the universe speaks to us.
It's like eavesdropping on a spiritual masterclass.
Exactly. Our source, this blog post we're talking about, imagines these conversations with all these experts, all of it based around this book, Messages from the Universe.
By Craig Hamilton Parker.
Right. And one of the big things that comes up again and again from all these different perspectives, the universe doesn't always communicate in big, dramatic ways, like you might imagine.
Okay, so less burning bush, more like what?
It's often a lot more subtle.
Subtle how?
It shows up in the small details, the little things in life.
Okay, so like what kinds of little things? Give me an example.
Ever think about someone, then randomly bump into them on the street?
Oh, yeah, total.
Or how about a song? Like the perfect song comes on the radio at the exact moment you needed to hear it.
Yeah, I love when that happens.
Those things, those synchronicities, those can be the universe trying to get your attention.
Okay, but how do we know it's not just us, making something out of nothing? Like, if I spill my coffee, is that the universe? Or am I just clumsy?
Right. How do we know what's random and what's a sign? Well, that's where Deepak Chopra's insights come in.
Oh, okay, what does he say?
He talks about how our own inner state, our thoughts and feelings, they're like a mirror to the universe.
Okay, so the calmer and clearer we are inside.
Exactly. The clearer those reflections, those messages become.
And he talks a lot about meditation, right?
He does.
Like meditation is a way to quiet the noise of our minds.
It's like tuning a radio dial.
Yeah.
You get rid of the static so you can hear the station you're looking for.
To pick up those subtle signals.
Exactly. But it's not just about what we do. It's also about how we are, like how present we are in each moment.
And Eckhart Tolle talks about this a lot, right? The power of now.
He does. He's all about that present moment awareness. And he reminds us, the universe, it speaks in the now.
So if we're always stuck in the past,
or worried about the future,
then we miss those messages that are happening right now.
We're not paying attention to the here and now.
We're too busy looking at our phones.
Maybe. But it makes you wonder, right? If the universe is trying to get our attention, are there other beings out there trying to reach us too?
Like what?
Like spirit guides, for instance.
Right.
Are they real? And how do they fit into all of this?
Yeah, spirit guides. That's a whole other level of cosmic communication.
Right. Like, I can almost wrap my head around the universe sending signals. But having my own personal spirit guides...
It's a lot to take in. It is. So how does it even work? Do they, talk to us?
Well, not always in a way you'd expect. Craig Hamilton Parker, he's got an interesting take on this.
Okay, how so?
He says we shouldn't expect big, dramatic pronouncements. From our guides, I mean. It's much more subtle than that.
Subtle.
It's more like gentle guidance, little nudges in the right direction.
Okay, so less like a GPS telling you to make a U-turn.
Exactly.
And more like a friend.
Offering a helpful suggestion, exactly.
I like that. But who are these guides, anyway?
Good question, and there's no single answer, really. It varies from person to person, tradition to tradition, too.
Okay, so give me some possibilities.
Well, they could be loved ones, right? People who've passed on.
The relatives.
Yeah, or maybe ancestors looking out for us. Some people believe that.
Interesting. What else?
Some traditions talk about spiritual beings, like they've chosen to guide us.
To help us evolve or something.
Exactly. It's all about helping us on our journey.
That's a lot to process.
It is.
So let's say I have these spirit guides. How do I even know they're there? If they're so subtle, how do I know it's not just me, thinking my own thoughts, making my own decisions?
That's where that psychic potential we talked about comes in.
Oh, right.
Remember, those intuitive muscles, time to put them to work.
So how do we do that?
Well, James Van Praagh, he's a medium. You might have heard of him. He says spirit guides, they often communicate through symbols.
Symbols?
Yeah, like personal symbols, things that have special meaning for us.
So a song that suddenly feels profound?
Could be.
Or a dream image? Or finding dimes everywhere I go. Those are all things I've heard about.
It's about noticing those little things.
Yeah.
Paying attention.
Quieting the mind, like we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. Create some space within yourself. meditation helps.
Or just being more mindful.
Right. You become more sensitive to those little nudges, those whispers of guidance.
But it's got to be hard, right?
No.
Tuning out all that noise.
It is. And there's something else that blocks us too.
What's that?
Fear.
Oh, yeah.
And skepticism.
Like if we don't believe it.
Yeah. It's like putting up a wall and then wondering why we can't hear anything.
Makes sense. So we've got the universe sending us signals. We might have spirit guides trying to get through. But what about people who aren't, hearing voices or seeing signs? Does any of this apply to them?
Absolutely. Everyone has psychic potential. It's not just for mystics, right?
Right.
It's about tapping into a deeper awareness, a connection that we all have.
Okay, I like that. So it's not about becoming a psychic.
Not necessarily. It's more about, it's like we've all got this sixth sense. We just haven't quite figured out how to use it yet.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we tap into that potential?
Well, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he talks about this. He says it's not about gaining superpowers.
Right.
It's about shifting our consciousness. Accessing a higher level of awareness.
So less about bending spoons with our minds.
Right.
More about understanding how the universe really works.
Exactly. And meditation, he says, is key.
Meditation. There it is again.
I know, right? But it's not about emptying your mind. It's about training your brain.
Trading it to do what?
To operate at a different frequency. To tune into those subtle energies, that information that's all around us.
So we're back to those cosmic radio waves.
Exactly. We're just trying to dial in the right station.
Which makes me think of morphic fields.
Oh, yeah.
Which always seemed a little out there to me, to be honest.
I get it. It's a wild concept.
So remind me, what are they again? And how do they fit into this whole communication network?
Morphic fields. Yeah, they can be a little tough to wrap your head around, like something out of science fiction, almost.
Right.
But the basic idea is we're all connected, you see.
Connected how?
Through these fields. Fields of energy and information.
Okay, so give me a visual. What does that even look like?
Imagine a giant cosmic internet.
Okay, I'm with you.
Always on. And instead of, cat videos and stuff,
right,
it's transmitting thoughts, feelings, even memories.
So we're all tuned into the same Wi-Fi, sharing our deepest thoughts and feelings?
Something like that.
That was my attempt at humor.
I got it. But Rupert Sheldrake, he's the one who really brought this idea into the mainstream.
The biologist.
Yeah. And he says these morphic fields, they might explain some pretty wild stuff.
Like what?
Things like collective memory.
Oh, right. How do entire groups of animals just know how to do things?
Exactly.
Instinct.
Or telepathy. Could these fields be how we communicate across distances without even realizing it?
Whoa. Okay, that's a lot to process. Let's bring it back down to earth for a minute.
Back down to earth. I like that.
Because this whole idea of interconnectedness, it makes me think about karma.
Karma.
Right. If we're all energetically connected like this, then our actions, our choices, they must have a bigger ripple effect than we realize.
Oh, absolutely. And, karma, it's often misunderstood.
Oh, yeah. How so?
People think it's about punishment.
Right, like cosmic payback for being bad.
Exactly. But it's not about that. Not really. It's more about understanding. We're all connected. And our actions, they have consequences.
So less about punishment.
Right.
More about cause and effect.
Exactly.
Right.
Cause and effect, but on a larger scale. Like Thich Nhat Hanh used to say.
Oh, what did he say?
He said our actions are like pebbles.
Pebbles.
You throw a pebble into a pond.
Right. It makes ripples.
Exactly. Ripples that spread out, they affect the whole pond, even the smallest pebble.
So even our smallest actions, they matter.
Everything we do creates a ripple effect. And eventually, those ripples, they come back to us.
Okay. I've also heard people talk about karmic loops.
Oh, yeah.
Like recurring patterns in our lives.
Exactly.
Relationships.
Yep.
Jobs. Those kinds of things.
And that's where Sadhguru's insights are interesting.
Okay, what does he say?
He says, time. It's not a straight line.
It's not.
No, it's a spiral.
Okay, a spiral. So these patterns,
they keep showing up.
Until we learn the lesson.
Until we break the cycle.
Exactly.
But how do we do that? Because if it's a cycle, are we just doomed to repeat it forever? Well, thankfully, no. Carolyn Myss, she's got some wisdom here.
Okay, good. What does she say?
She says, these karmic patterns, they often show up as blockages.
Blockages?
In our lives, our energy.
Okay, like what kinds of blockages?
Could be health problems.
Right.
Relationship issues.
Yeah.
Negative thoughts that just won't go away.
So it's like we're stuck.
Exactly, we're stuck. But here's the good news. We can get unstuck.
Okay, how? How do we break free?
First step, Awareness. Just noticing the pattern.
Okay, that makes sense.
Forgiveness.
Forgiving ourselves.
And others, yes. It's about healing. Healing those old wounds.
That's powerful.
It is. It's like we're not just victims of our past, of our karma.
We have the power to heal, to change.
Yes, exactly. And two of the most powerful forces in that process.
What are they?
Love.
Love, of course.
And gratitude.
We can't forget gratitude.
Exactly, because those two things, love and gratitude, they're not just nice ideas.
Right.
They're high-frequency energies.
Oh, right, like we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. And remember, Craig Hamilton Parker, he said aligning with those frequencies, it helps us tune in.
To the universe's messages.
Right. But they also help us heal on a deep level.
So it's not just about understanding the universe's language, it's about speaking it too.
Yes, by embodying those qualities. Love, gratitude. Like Marianne Williamson says, love.
What about it?
It's the most powerful force in the universe. It heals, it dissolves fear, it connects us to something so much bigger than ourselves.
It's all connected. And gratitude, how does that fit in?
Reverend Moon, he talked about this. Gratitude, it's the foundation for a better world. When we're grateful, we see how connected everything is. We appreciate the good things, even the small things.
It shifts our perspective.
Exactly.
From lack to abundance.
Yes. And Gary Zukav reminds us, gratitude keeps us grounded, present, appreciating the beauty that's all around us right here, right now.
Wow. This has been quite a journey. We've covered a lot of ground today. Synchronicities, spirit guides, morphic fields, karma, love, gratitude. It's a lot to take in.
It is. But if you had to boil it all down, what are the key takeaways?
Well, I'd say first, the universe is speaking to us all the time.
Yes, it is.
We just have to learn how to listen.
Pay attention to those messages. And second, we all have this incredible potential within us.
Our psychic potential.
To connect to something larger.
To tune in.
And third, karma. It's not about punishment.
Right. It's about growth.
It's guidance. It's a chance to learn and evolve. And finally, love and gratitude.
Those are our superpowers.
They're the keys to unlocking a more fulfilling life, a more harmonious world.
I love that. So it's like we've been given a glimpse behind the curtain into how the universe really works.
And now?
Now it's up to us to use that knowledge to create a better future for ourselves and for the world.
Beautifully said.
And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought. What message is the universe sending you? Right now, today, think about it. And until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep diving deep.